Peace. What's good, y'all? How y'all doing? This is ZaZa Ali. Today is Monday, August the 5th, 2019. I pray that this message reaches you all in the best of health, spirit, and mind. I am doing and feeling really good. Just wanted to share some thoughts that came into my mind this morning as I was driving around and moving around in my day. You know, it's important that we learn how to differentiate people that add value to our lives opposed to those who take away from our value, right? And I say that because, real quick, before I get into my uh, uh, expose, if you will, not my expose, but just what I want to say. This Thursday, August the 18th, I have the Remove the Ceiling from Your Mind workshop that's going to be online. And you can get information about that in the link below in the description. If you would like to attend, I'm very excited about this workshop. We are going to be discussing, among other things, lacking inspiration and motivation in life, low energy and all over the place mindset, discovering your passion, as well as recommendations, solutions, and focus worksheets that will include a formula, if you will, to address all three of those areas: lacking inspiration and motivation, low energy, and being all over the place, and discovering your passion. So if you are one of the hundreds of people that have reached out to me over the last year addressing those specific things or asking me to address those specific things, we will have a live workshop where you will be able to engage me directly and ask questions. I'll do a 1 hour presentation, focusing in on those things, and then I'll take questions for an hour and a half. If you have specific questions you want to ask or something you'd like for me to research or go into depth about, you can do that through that medium, and I'll be taking calls where you can ask questions or give your perspective or your feedback live on the workshop. So that's this Thursday, August the 8th. I'm also setting up another workshop next Thursday, August the 15th, entitled Seeing Yourself Through the Negative Relation. Seeing Yourself Through. I'm trying to read my writing, and I scribbled this down real quick just to remind myself. Seeing yourself through negative relationship patterns. Seeing yourself through negative relationship patterns. I'm not going to title it that, but that's basically what it's about. That'll be next Thursday, August the 15th, and that'll be available for purchase on my website today. So you can get more information about that there, as well as on my social media pages. The Alchemy Cipher Facebook page, that private page, is up and running, and we're having an introductory offer when you sign up for $10.95. So click the link below. You can get access to all three of those things, as well as other workshops, my workbooks, my books, etc. Make sure you support. Okay, so the other day I was on live and you guys saw my aunties. One of them's actually my godmother. And when I say godmother, I don't mean she was assigned to be my godmother or chose to be my godmother when I was born. God put me on a path where she would be in my life and my son's life, and has been in my life continuously as a mother figure, matriarch, etc., for 16 years now. And her family has become my family, which I am truly blessed and grateful for. So my godmother and my auntie are here visiting, and it's so funny because, I'm a loner. I usually spend a lot of time alone, so I don't really have a lot of company over my house every now and then, but usually it's just myself and my son. So while they've been here, they've just, I have an extra guest bedroom that I kind of use as a storage room because, again, we don't have a lot of company. So they went to clear out a storage unit, and they brought 2 twin beds, beautiful beds, to put in the guest room because I needed a guest bed. I didn't ask. I didn't, because it's not really something that was a pressing issue for me, right? We have furniture everywhere else. It's just a room that I kind of don't use. Well, all of a sudden, they come back from the storage. They have the beds in the truck, and we brought the beds because da-da-da-da. So mind you, this is a 56 and a 62-year-old sisters, right, taking the initiative to help me, right, family, but taking the initiative to add value to my space, right? So they brought the beds. I came back this morning. They were already putting them together. They went down to the local furniture store, bought mattresses. Well, I already had one mattress, but bought box springs, bought sheets for these beds, right? Just totally taking the initiative to add value to my space and to seeing a void or seeing something that needed to be filled, and just doing it without asking me, or without, me having to be the one to bring it to light, right? That we went to the mall yesterday. They took my son shopping. And I'm making this about tangible material things, but it's not just about tangible and material things, because we've had great conversation, not just about me, but about them, about health. I'm being who I am, doing what I always do with everybody in my life. So the value has been reciprocated, right? So I was thinking about this morning, how much value in the past 5-6 days that they've added to my physical space, as well as my emotional and my mental space, myself and my son. And then I was also thinking about, because people always ask me about energy vampires, right? What do you do about energy vampires? How do you deal with energy vampires? How do you deal with a person if you're in a relationship who's sucking the life out of you and you're trying to be conscious, or you're trying to, elevate yourself? So the question for you, as you analyze, the question for all of us as we analyze these different people in our lives in whatever capacity, in relationships, family members, friends, people that we work with, people in social environments, if we're in organizations, in the mosque, in the church, in the temple, all these different layers of our lives, right? Does this person or these people add value to my life, or do they take away from my value? That is a brilliant question. And when it came into my mind, immediately I was like, I need to do a video real quick about this. That is a brilliant question to use as a litmus test for the people that are in your life. And for me, that is a particularly interesting question, because I pour into a lot of people, right? I have my one-on-one clients, and then I have the people who email me and, interact with me on social media that ask me for advice, or, tell me all of these very trying stories about their lives, or things that they've been through or they're experiencing, or just want basic, questions or insight on whatever is happening in their life, which I don't mind. That's what I do. As well as the people that I come in contact with on a daily basis, right? If I'm at the nail shop, or if I'm getting a facial, or if I go get my hair braided, like, I've learned to embrace the fact that this thing that I do does not stop when I'm on social media. Everywhere I go, people want to get my opinion about things, if they know me, and if they don't know me. Once we start to talk, there starts to be a transference of energy where, you know what I mean, that this thing happens. I don't know. But I'm saying all of this not to make this about me, but for you to start really analyzing where you are in your life and where the focus of your attention and your energy is going on a day-to-day basis. A good friend of mine she likes to call it energetic leaks, right? Where you, on a continuous basis, have these different areas, whether it's a relationship or whether it's a particular friendship or a family member, that whatever the continuity of the relationship, or the ongoing nature of the relationship, if it's not serving you well, and you have to gear yourself up to deal with this person, or you have to gear yourself up when you go into, this person's office at the job, or you have to gear yourself up for being around certain people, or just those conversations that drain you and that stifle you, right? Or when certain people come in your space, those energetic exchanges that drain you, that leave you feeling stifled, those are energetic leaks. And if you guys have been listening to me, if you watch my videos about, energy, about breath, right? As human beings, we are energetic beings. So your breathing process, chi is what we call it, or the life force, is based around sexual energy, right? And if you are sexually promiscuous or, not controlling, this goes for men and women, not able to maintain a certain level of discipline, and you are constantly emitting sexual energy by way of orgasms and the full spectrum of energy, the thrust of energy that you have through that process, that can be considered an energetic leak, especially if you don't have a one consistent partner that is of like mind, body, and spirit, and you're just sleeping around with a bunch of different people. That's an energetic leak because you're not only emitting energy, but you're taking in their energy. And if you're not dealing with healthy, conscious, sound mind and body people, then what are they pouring into you, right? That's number one. And then you have mental energy, right? How frustrated are you when you're dealing with your children? How frustrated is it to talk to your partner? How frustrated are you when you're in your job or your business environment? The mental capacity of what you have to pour out. Most people don't even read. And I'm going to do a video about the mental world, right? I got 2 more videos that I'm going to go full-fledged on for YouTube, that I'm going to put out, this content that I'm going to put out. And then all of the rest of it is going to be either snippets or my live Q&As. All the rest of my content is being geared towards and directed towards my private Facebook page. But this aspect of the universe being mental, and that everything is born out of the mind. We live in a mental world, right? So on a day-to-day basis, how much mental energy are you exuding? Like being on social media. Have you ever had a conversation that somebody got disrespectful with you, right? It started out cool, and now all of a sudden, or they're trying to prove you wrong, or they're, a troll or whatever. That's a lot of energetic, or an energetic leak, so to speak, that's coming out through those different conversations, especially if you are immersed in it, especially if it matters to you, especially if you have a platform where you are trying to raise the consciousness or teach and help people, right? Some peon comes on and all of a sudden starts talking about, whatever. I'm not going to get into the specifics of that, but y'all get where I'm going with this, right? So mentally, where does your mental energy, how is it exerted on a day-to-day basis? What are you thinking about most of the time? Most people naturally gravitate towards negativity. Most people naturally gravitate towards lack. If you do, that's an even higher energetic consumption or leak, because we are wired for well-being. The human being is wired to think good, feel good, live good, have a high quality of life. That's why so many people are miserable, because your soul internally knows that your body should not be having this type of experience in the physical realm, right? So you got the mental aspect, the physical aspect when we talked about the sexual energy, and even not being able to breathe properly. Most people don't even breathe properly. Most people don't even know how to take full deep breaths, right? To where their chest cavity can fill up and they can circulate the blood and, clean the blood, and that whole detox process, which I've talked about at length before in other videos. So the breathing process, learning how to control your chi or your life force. And then you've got the emotional aspect of yourself and the emotional energy that you exude on a day-to-day basis. If you're in a dysfunctional relationship, then you are probably emotionally exhausted most of the time, and not just with a man or a woman, but emotionally dysfunctional relationships with family members, right? A lot of women that I talk to have very dysfunctional relationships with their mother. That's an ongoing energetic leak in your life that is constantly emitting energy and sucking you dry, so to speak, no pun intended. But that's an energetic leak, right? It's something you're always thinking about. When you think about it, your chest gets tight. You get angry, you get frustrated, right? Somebody in your work environment, somebody that you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, that the mere thought of them brings tenseness to your mind, or makes you, grip your jaws. Your jaws are tight. So all of those, or you're still suffering from a bad breakup, right? Bitter from what so-and-so did to you. Bitter about, something your baby father did or your baby's mother did, or, you know what I mean? Emotional energy that is not serving you well, that is heavy on the heart and heavy on the spirit on a constant basis. That's an energetic leak emotionally, right? So that's the physical, the mental, the emotional, and then the spiritual. I wrote a post on Instagram and Facebook the other day talking about the fact that America is a very dense and low vibration environment. And so sometimes we feel a certain type of way. We can't get solid in our footing. We don't feel comfortable in ourselves. We're always ready, bracing to be hit, right? Or bracing for negativity, bracing for the next news story, bracing about black men being killed or things that are happening in our community, right? That's a nonstop spiritual attack when you are striving to feel good about life, feel good about yourself, feel positive, feel uplifted, feel gratitude and appreciation. All of those frequencies that are in alignment with creativity and creation, inspiration, enthusiasm, etc. So you're striving internally for that, but you live in a world that's constantly beating you over the head, making you feel some type of way about things that have absolutely nothing to do with your life. It is astounding to me how much energy people put in the political arena, agenda, consensus, bills, and all, like stuff that has absolutely nothing to do with your day-to-day life. You spend that much time and energy on. And I know in the bigger scheme of things, the laws matter because we need health care, et cetera, but it's going to take 8 years for the law to go into effect. Or it's going to take 2 years for a bill to actually get passed in order to come into fruition to where it leaks down and trickles down to, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the way that game is played. That's the way it goes. But you, when I say you, I mean to whom this applies, spend so much energy on a day-to-day basis focusing on the fear factor of what if, or if this doesn't happen, or if that doesn't happen, or they're taking all this stuff out of the community, right? Energetic leaks. All these things that are happening around you in the world and in your family and in your household and with all the other people that you have to pour into. Consistent mental, emotional, spiritual, and mental and physical energy being exuded. How are you refilling yourself? What's the process of refilling that mental energy that you leak out every day? What's the process of refilling that spiritual energy that you leak out every day? What's the process of refilling that physical energy that you leak out every day? What's the process of refilling that spiritual, is that the last one? Whichever one applies, right? That you leak out every day. Do you have a process? Most people don't. And then they wonder why depression and anxiety and suicide and mental illness is so prevalent in this society. We don't pour back into ourselves. You have to fill your car up with gasoline, and you got to get an oil change after a certain amount of miles, or your car will not function. You, as a electromagnetic, physical, energetic being, you are of consciousness and energy, and you are a mind, right? So you are constantly emitting energy, emitting thoughts, emitting frequencies, emitting, consciousness throughout your world. How do you pour back into yourself? Do you even think like that? That's why I said in the post, if you're not reading, meditating, doing yoga, doing exercising, going out in nature, studying, and a bunch of different other things that I rolled off in the post, you got a whole different set of problems. If you don't take any time to pour back into yourself, you've got a whole different set of problems, because if you're living in America, this is a very low vibration, low frequency environment. Trust, right? If you're not using methodologies in order to fill yourself back up, you are an empty vessel. That's before you get to pouring into the children, before you get to pouring into the husband, before you get to pouring into the girlfriend, grandmother, mother, uncles, cousins, etc., etc. So, ask yourself, are the people in your life adding value to your life and your space, or are they taking away from your value? That's my message for today. Sign up for the workshop this Thursday, August the 8th. It'll be at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'll be doing a 1-hour presentation, and then we'll have a live 1.5-hour Q&A. You guys can ask me whatever you want that is particular to your individual life. Also, the Facebook Alchemy Cipher is up and running. I'm very excited. We're getting ready to start our first exercise. I'm going to go live, and we're going to talk specifically about whatever they want to talk about, along with the self-rating chart that I sent out everybody. We're going to start working on that. And then also I'm getting ready to announce the workshop for next Thursday, not this Thursday, but next Thursday, August 15th, seeing yourself through negative relationship patterns, learning how to see and learn things about you through the negative patterns in relationships that you have, whether it's friends, whether it's associates in your work environment, or whether it's someone you were intimately involved in, marriages, divorces, boyfriend, girlfriend, exes, etc. All right. So click the link in below in the description and you could get access to all of that stuff and all of my stuff. I hope you guys have a wonderful, beautiful, amazing day, and that you are surrounding yourself by people that actually add value to your space, to your mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical well-being. Peace and love.